Welcome everybody to Grapplefuck. We are covering Uriah Hall against Anderson Silva, which is on. It's this Saturday, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Saturday night. Actually, where is it? Is it in Vegas?
I've actually got no idea, to be honest.
It must be in America, right? Because that
Yeah, it's in
one's.
Vegas. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's in Vegas. Okay. Um, something we know all about these two. They've been around for a long time. Anderson Silva seemed. Yeah, I mean he's been around for decades, pretty much. Anderson Silva is one of the goats. I think he had the longest middleweight streak, and I can't remember. He held the belt for like 6, 7 years. Uriah Hall, 69-0. Anderson Silva, 34-10. One no contest. I'm assuming that was due to peds, probably. 6 foot, 6'2". Uriah Hall's got a 2.5 inch reach advantage. Wins. Uriah Hall's got serious power. Wins most of his fights by KO. Anderson Silva has got a few subs. I remember him subbing Chael Sonnen in the 5th round. Chael Sonnen beat the shit out of him
Yeah,
for four rounds before that. Um,
that was really
significant.
unlucky. Yeah,
That was very unlucky. Yeah, but he just sunk him into the triangle choke, right?
yeah.
Just kept going into it. Um, significant strike differentials. Uriah Hall absorbs more than he lands. Not a good thing. Um, Same for Anderson Silva. I mean, I think it's because these guys are getting to the end of their careers and they're just, although Uriah Hall's coming off a 2-fight win streak, before that he lost 3 fights, and Anderson Silva, I think's won one fight in the last 6 or 7.
hmm
So they are getting the shit kicked out of them, mostly Anderson Silva. Silva's defense still 61%. Uriah Hall's 52. Silva's obviously known as the spider. It was very hard to hit back in the day. Takedown average per 15 minutes higher for Hall. Um, Takedown accuracy a lot higher for Anderson Silva. He doesn't really go for takedowns, not that much anyway. Takedown defense similar. Submission averages, Anderson Silva goes for more submissions. Yeah. What are your initial thoughts? Obviously, two quite experienced old guys going at it.
Let's talk about Uriah Hall. Back in the day, Uriah Hall was considered to be a really, really great fighter, an up-and-coming prospect. He won the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
People had very high hopes for him. So following the Ultimate Fighter, he he lost his first fight. Then he gets 3 victories, including against Thiago Santos, which in hindsight is a very good win. Um, then a few fights later, he fights Gegard Mousasi. He wins. Now that's a fantastic victory because Gegard Mousasi, still to this day, is an excellent, excellent fighter. Then I think he runs into problems because then he fights Robert Whittaker. Bear in mind, this was before Robert Whittaker was Robert Whittaker, as we know him. Then he fights Derek Brunson, which is a very hard fight. Then he loses to Gegard Mousasi in the rematch.
Yeah.
Then he beats Christoph Jotko. Then he faces Paulo Costa. So he's just had quite a lot of difficult fights there.
Very
Um,
difficult.
yeah, so maybe slightly unlucky there. So I think
Yeah.
maybe people are a little bit harsh when they say he hasn't quite lived up to his potential because he has had hard
Yeah.
fights.
I mean, Gegard, for instance, he could come back right now and take out half of the UFC middleweight division easily, half
Yeah,
of the top 15.
yeah, he's a beast.
Give him
Yeah,
2, 3 weeks notice, he could do it.
he's a beast. Yeah, and he only left the UFC because of, I guess,
Contractual issues. Yeah.
yes, exactly.
He just wasn't happy with him. He's not the most vibrant character in the room. He's got an odd personality. I find him quite interesting because he's very blunt, but he doesn't really sell himself. But he is a phenomenal fucking fighter. One, definitely in my top 10 list of all time.
Yeah,
The amount of wins he has against the level of competition is honestly staggering. I mean, if
yeah,
anyone is not familiar with this guy, go through his record. It's mind-boggling the amount of people he's beaten.
yeah, for sure.
Um, and then, as you said, Costa and all these other guys. Yeah, man, he's had some tough fights.
Yeah. So that record of 15-9, which looks like a really bad record, when you dive into it, it's not actually as bad as it looks. But let's
Yeah,
talk about Uriah Hall's sort of skills and maybe defects. his skill, his main weapon is that beautiful jab. Probably the best jab in the UFC. It is beautiful. It is hard. It is fast. It lands all the time, and it's heavy. It hurts. All right. The problem is that he doesn't follow up with anything. He doesn't use it to set up a combination. And the problem with that is, you're not landing enough. So if the fight goes to decision, you're at risk of losing the fight because you're just not landing enough.
Well, he's from a karate background, so that explains that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tying into the karate background, he's got great kicks, kicks, which are really nice. And to be fair to Uriah Hall, he's often looking for the counter punch. He's got all of counter punch KOs, I think. He counter punched Bevon Lewis in his most recent fight. And he counter punched, who was the other guy? Antonio Carlos Jr., who with a counter punch broke his nose and literally the very first seconds of the fight. So he hits really, really hard.
He's got a lot of power.
Yeah, and he's got a decent amount of KOs. One of the issues Uriah Hall has is he looks lazy. Whether he is lazy or not, I don't know. But he looks lazy. He takes a long time to warm up and get going. So in that Bevon Lewis fight, for example, he just allowed himself to be outstruck. Even though he's probably a better technical fighter, he just allowed himself to be outstruck. And it was only in the second round where he actually woke up. And part of the reason I think for that is Michael Bisping referred to this. Michael Bisping said he used to spar with Uriah Hall. I said Uriah Hall spars really, really hard. So it seems to me that maybe Uriah Hall is having gym wars where his sparring is basically fighting. And if you do that, when you step into the octagon, your brain doesn't necessarily realize you're in a real fight. And you're more relaxed than you should be. And you don't have that adrenaline and that kind of urgency to do what you need to do. And I've heard that not only from Michael Bisping, but from other people as well. And I've seen footage of him like knocking people out in sparring, which is quite unusual.
He could also get knocked out in sparring.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And I say that just because that's quite unusual these days. MMA fighters don't tend to go in for that heavy sparring anymore.
Yeah, some people do. Costa still does it. There are some people that still do that. Costa's frequently knocking people out. You're right. It used to happen a lot more back in the day. Anthony Rumble Johnson was known for KOing people during sparring sessions. But obviously, he hits like a truck. But yeah, I mean, you should do hard sparring if you're a professional fighter, but not 100% in the gym.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not good for you.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all. So what do you think about Uriah Hall's game? Is there anything I've missed?
No, I think he's summed his game up pretty well. I think he's got, as you said, a good jab. He's got very good kicks. He's landing the spinning kick on a few people. I think that's how he knocked Musashi out, if I remember correctly. Yep. He's got very accurate kicks, a lot of power, and I just think he's come up against a murderer's row of people, and he's lost some really, really good people. So yeah, I think you summed that up pretty well there. A lot younger than Silva. I think he's 9-10 years younger than him.
Let's check how old Silva is. He's 44?
I believe he's 45 or 46.
Oh, he's 45 now. Fucking hell.
Yeah, he's ancient.
45 and a half.
Let's get on to Silva, 45 and a half. I think he's won one fight in the last 7.
Can I defend that? Can I defend that record?
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of decisions there that he lost.
Yeah, so those 2 losses against Weidman, that first one he did something stupid. He put his hands down and Weidman just cracked him. In the second fight,
it was ridiculous.
It was a foolish thing to do, and he paid the price for it. And the rematch against Weidman, it was the broken leg, which we've all seen. And that's probably a big turning point in his career, obviously. Then he's got the fight against Nick Diaz. I don't think anything really happened in that fight against Nick Diaz. I think he was popped for steroids in that fight.
Yeah, I believe that's the one that was overturned. And I think he was very confused about what Nick Diaz was doing. Nick Diaz was just being Nick Diaz, lying on the canvas and doing all sorts of things basically.
Yeah, I don't think a whole lot happened in that fight.
Yeah, not a lot happened. Obviously one of the goats, the king of steroids, as Bisping refers to him, but he's one of the goats.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of Bisping, that was his next fight against Michael Bisping, which Bisping
Yeah,
won. But to
yeah,
me,
Bisping did well in that fight.
he Bisping won through sheer pace and
Volume,
effort.
yeah,
Yeah.
volume, yeah.
And it was clear to me that, as much as I love Michael Bisping, it was clear to me that Anderson Silva was the far superior fighter. It's just Bisping pushed the pace and through sheer will won that fight.
Hey, you got to win a fight with whatever tools you have, you know.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And then he fights Daniel Cormier in 2016. That's at light heavyweight.
yeah, I think it was his light heavyweight debut.
So that kind of explains that loss, a middleweight going up to light heavyweight against
Yeah, you're
like
gonna get
Daniel
fucked up.
Cormier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he wins against Derek Brunson, which is a good victory. Derek Brunson is no joke. You know?
Yeah, was it at that point in Derek Brunson's career where he went on like a 3 or 4 fight loss streak? I don't want to take anything away from Silva.
Let me have a look.
I think there's a point in his career where he just had like 3 or 4 losses in a row.
He had 2 losses in a row. He lost to Whittaker, then Silva. Then he
Oh,
came
okay.
back.
All right. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
It's a good win. That's a good win.
It is. And then he faces Israel Adesanya.
That was a weird fight.
I think that's kind of what you expect from 2 highly technical kickboxers.
I felt, and you know, I hate Adesanya, as you know. I really don't like him. But I just feel Adesanya held back in that fight.
Gave him too much respect.
Yeah. I think he could have done a lot more damage.
I think you're right to an extent. So Adesanya, I literally just watched this fight this evening. Adesanya clearly won the first round, clearly won the third round. So sorry, yeah, Adesanya. And Anderson Silva may have won the second round, probably not. But anyway, the second round was very competitive. Anderson Silva was giving Israel some problems. He was landing shots. He had his hands down, doing what he does with the head movement, you know, ducking the kicks, and he looked decent. It was a very, very competitive second round. And against Israel Adesanya, you know, who's now the champion, that's a decent performance.
How long ago was that, though? That was before he became champion, right?
It was, yeah, 2019, beginning of 2019.
The thing with Adesanya is he seems to be progressing so quickly between his fights. It's ridiculous. Just like I feel like in this next fight, he probably KO the guy in round 1.
Yeah, possibly.
It's just getting better and better. But yeah, I mean, to go 3 rounds with Israel Adesanya is definitely something.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, at that age as well.
Yeah, and then he faces Jared Cannonier. In that first round, not a whole lot happened.
Oh yeah, and then the leg kick.
Yeah, which brings me to a really important point. There's something wrong with Adesanya's right knee, I believe, because not only did
Anderson's.
Anderson's right knee, because not only did Jared Cannonier kick it, and Anderson Silva fell to the ground in apparent agony, and the referee called off the fight immediately. Adesanya also targeted that leg, and Anderson seemed to be in an awful lot of pain.
Well, that's exactly what Uriah Hall will do.
If he's smart, yeah, he will.
Yeah, I think he will. I think
don't know if
his legs.
I don't know if Uriah Hall is that smart, to be honest. But you know, honestly, I don't mean that in a bad way. It's easy for us to make these observations, but for a fighter,
to be honest, with that, his camp should really be making those observations and then giving him the extra instructions.
Yes.
And he comes from a relatively good camp, not so good anymore, but used to be good. They've got a good history, so someone should. I mean, it's pretty easy to figure out that his legs are fucked.
Yes.
You know. I mean.
But what gym does he train at?
Is it Extreme Couture? I can't remember now.
That is a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
Or it used to be.
Yeah, it's still relatively decent. It's no AKA. It's no AKA, but
Yeah.
but yeah, his leg's fucked. His leg's fucked, dude.
It was
If that
certainly
leg gets
seems
kicked a
so.
few times,
Yeah.
yeah,
So that last fight against Jared Cannonier is a little bit annoying because we didn't. That's Anderson Silva's most recent fight, and we didn't get to see what Anderson Silva had to offer because that first round he was just trying to feel out Jared Cannonier, and he just didn't do anything yet. So that's annoying. But to be fair, actually, we did learn something in that fight. Anderson Silva's kicks are still sharp. Like those body kicks are still quick.
Still sharp, yeah.
Yeah. And
It's
against
remarkable
yeah,
that he's still that sharp. I mean, if Weidman didn't break his leg, he'd probably still be fucking people up.
possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
And in the Israel Adesanya fight, he had the head movement and he was landing. He had Israel Adesanya on the back foot.
Well,
He landed decent shots.
I mean, in his prime, he was incredible.
Magical.
Yeah, he was like, there was just no way of beating him.
Yeah. It's like he just understands what you're doing. He understands what you're throwing. He gets out the way, understands
Matrix
distance.
shit.
Yes.
Yeah. Kind of like what Adesanya's doing at the moment.
But better.
But better, I'd say. Yeah.
I'll say significantly better. It was amazing. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was just a different league of fighting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Just understanding of distance, reaction time. There's just something you can't quite define there.
Which is why it's so annoying when people like this get popped for PEDs. Why? PEDs aren't going to do anything for you.
I think he got popped for PEDs following the knee break. I think he had steroid injections into his leg. At least this was his story.
Oh, okay.
He had steroid injections to help, what's the word? Repair the damage quicker.
Yeah.
Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but it certainly sounds plausible.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one athlete in the world that I think would never need steroids, it's Anderson Silva. It's clearly all just genetic for him. Well,
yeah. I mean, getting stronger is not.
Yeah, exactly.
The game, yeah.
Yeah, he's a freak.
Yeah.
It could be true, but.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, but I mean, what do you think? Because obviously Anderson Silva's very old now, and he's got one fucked up leg, very fucked up.
I think Anderson Silva can win this fight.
Really?
But let me ask you a question. How are these guys going to interact with their respective styles? How are they going to clash?
I think Anderson Silva will try and stay on the outside. But that's a very good question.
Because Uriah Hall likes to do that as well. Uriah Hall's
that's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And Anderson Silva is kind of a counterpuncher as well. He's throwing all these feints to get you to do something so he can counter you.
Could be a pretty boring fight.
It could be.
I don't think it will be. I think because it's his final fight, he's probably going to be looking for something special. And that could end up with him getting hurt because Uriah Hall has got serious power. But it's a tough one. It's a tough one because I do agree with you. I think Anderson's still got it. But his leg's fucked and he's very old. However, you've also got the motivation of it being his last fight.
I don't think that'll necessarily help, to be honest.
It may do. I mean, I don't think you want to go out with a fucking loss.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, or multiple losses in a row. But I'm kind of coming on to predictions. I'm kind of leaning towards Uriah Hall, just because he's coming off a 2-fight win streak. One of the guys he beat is ranked, or was ranked when he beat him. And I think he will use the kicking to the leg strategy and I think if he does that, Anderson Silva won't last too long.
Mm.
However, I wouldn't put this in the come-comes.
Well, can you do me a favor? Can you get up those the previous fights on ESPN so we can see
On the
the?
UFC website, you mean, or ESPN?
Oh yeah, this one. Sorry, yeah.
So this is Anderson Silva.
So we can just see the striking volume. So
Yeah.
against Derek Brunson, 54, he was outstruck by Derek Brunson, right?
How the fuck did he win that if he was outstruck and Derek Brunson got two takedowns?
Because it's Anderson Silva, and the judges are biased. So against Israel Adesanya, he was outstruck by a factor of 2.
That doesn't make sense. I
Sorry,
need to watch that
Adesanya.
fight. Yeah, Adesanya outstruck him. Cannonier obviously outstruck him. Bisping outstruck him, but that's what Bisping does.
Yeah. So there's a problem here. I was going to say if Anderson Silva can outland Uriah Hall, he could win by decision, because Uriah Hall does not land a lot at all. But that doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Yeah, Uriah Hall doesn't land much.
But he's landing more than Anderson Silva.
Around the same, but I just feel he's younger. He's got more power. He's still got that power.
Yeah. One of my worries for Anderson Silva is Uriah Hall's jab is going to land.
Yeah.
Probably multiple times. Being a man of 45 years old, how is he going to take that? Because those jabs are going to hurt you.
Yeah.
It's one thing to take a punch when you're 25. It's another thing to take it when you're 45.
Yeah. Oh God, that must have been a boring fight. Daniel Cormier against Anderson Silva, 33-17 strikes, 3 takedowns, unanimous decision.
I imagine Cormier just ragdolled him.
I watched an interview on the Helwani Cormier podcast, and Cormier was just like, I was starstruck. He was like, I didn't even register I was in there fighting him until he kicked me really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then he kind of switched on, and then the wrestling started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that star power exists anymore, really.
Nah.
I think the illusion is gone.
Nah. Yeah, so I'm leaning slightly more towards Uriah Hall. I'd say 60. I'd say 65-35 to Uriah Hall.
What? Okay.
With those kind of odds, I should really put him in the risky come-come, I think.
Yeah. Have you seen the odds?
No, sorry, I was just thinking to myself. I'm assuming Uriah Hall's favourite.
Yeah, Uriah Hall is a plus 175. No, sorry. No, Anderson Silva is a plus 175 underdog. Uriah Hall is a minus 225 favorite.
Minus 225.
Yeah. So as I said before, this is a winnable fight for Anderson Silva. But now that I think about it, I don't know how he wins. He can't win by decision, probably, because he doesn't throw enough. I don't think he's got the power anymore. So I don't think there's an avenue for victory here. I think we can see some good stuff, maybe some quick, fast kicks. I think we see some nice head movement, which will kind of, it'll be shades of the old Anderson Silva, but it's not going to be enough to provide an avenue to victory.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to.
Sorry, carry on. I was going to say, imagine if he just knocks him out with a front kick, old Anderson Silva style, and then it gets overturned because he's been taking dick pills and peds. That would be amazing.
I would love to see him front kick Uriah Hall in the face. That'd be amazing. Yeah.
What about the peds part? No, is that just me fantasizing?
Well, no, no.
It'll be interesting. It's been a
Gi-
boring year.
No, I mean, I want Anderson Silva to do well. He's an absolute
Yeah.
legend.
He's a fucking legend. Yeah.
Yeah, probably the best
Yeah,
ever
he
to
is.
do it, at least standing up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want him to do well.
Yeah.
And I'm aware that the odds are against him. The man's 45 fighting at middleweight. That is
If he
old.
wins, damn. If he wins, he's the GOAT. I don't give a fuck. I don't care
Yeah.
about all this John Jones, Khabib talk, George St. Pierre. If he wins, he's the GOAT.
I think he's already the GOAT, but he'll be the GOAT for today, right?
You know what it is? It's that Peds thing that fucked the conversation up about him. If that never happened, he's definitely the GOAT. Once that Peds talk started, then everybody was like, oh, it's GSP. He's never been popped for anything. He's won at 2 weights. But yeah, I think particularly in stand-up, I've never seen anyone like him in MMA.
Yeah, me neither.
Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he can't bet on him, I don't think.
No, not in this fight.
Yeah. I'm probably going to put Uriah Hall probably in the safe come.
Safe. Okay.
I mean, it's easy to kind of look at Anderson Silva through rose-colored lenses. Is that the expression? And you kind of, what I've done throughout this podcast is kind of look for signs of the old Anderson Silva. And yes, he's had his moments in recent fights, but it's not enough. It's not enough anymore.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's not. It's not.
Yeah. So the question is, how does Uriah Hall win?
Oh, one thing that should be mentioned is this 5 rounds? Because Uriah Hall's never gone 5 rounds.
I was hoping you tell me that because I don't know.
Can you Google that, please?
Yeah.
I don't want to Google it because my porn history will come up.
Great.
The fans will see that I'm a sick man.
I mean, you've just told them anyway. You might as well show them.
I think
Silva.
it.
Silva versus Hall.
They don't need to see that, mate. It's been a long year for everyone.
I dread to think what you're into, Waleed.
Sorry?
I dread to think what you're into.
Just really, really like boring missionary stuff.
Okay.
I don't divert too much off that. Nah.
Not like Japanese octopus porn, right?
No, nothing like that.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Fuck's sake. Can you get back to the fight, please, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm looking to see if it's a 3-round fight or a 5-round fight.
Cool. I thought you were Googling octopus. No, joke.
That's later.
That's later.
I mean, I can't even find this. This is something we should know, considering that we're doing a podcast on this.
Yeah, we should know. But let's be honest, have you seen these other MMA analysts?
Yeah, they're not very good, are they?
They're not very good. How are we not big yet? I don't know. Everybody at home, right? Can you please like and subscribe and help us here? There are some really terrible people out there.
There are. I
think this is 5 rounds. It's the main event, right? Sometimes it isn't on fight night, but I think this will be 5 rounds.
We need to, Wally, can you try and Google this? Because I'm not finding anything. Because I think this does make a difference. I mean, potentially. I mean,
well, yeah, because I don't think Uriah Hall's been 5 rounds.
I was going to say Anderson Silva is, of course, a 5-round fighter.
Yeah.
And he's the kind of guy who can figure out over 5 rounds and capitalize on mistakes.
Just go to news. Yeah, October 35. Yeah, in a 5-round middleweight main
5 rounds, okay.
Yeah.
So the question is, how do you think Uriah Hall is going to do over 5 rounds?
He's never been 5 rounds, so I don't know. That's a massive question mark. I'm pretty sure he hasn't. Let's check his record. 3-3-3-2-1-1-1. 3. Yeah, never been 5 rounds in the UFC.
From what I'm aware, he beat Antonio Carlos Jr. over 3 rounds, won a split decision.
Yeah, he's been free. He's won a few decisions, unanimous decision against Thiago Santos. That was in the UFC 175. He lost split decision against Rafael Natal. That was the 3 rounds. Unanimous decision, lost to Robert Whittaker. So he can go 3 rounds.
Yeah, and from what I've seen, I think he's reasonably fresh into the 3rd round.
Yeah, I suspect that this probably won't go 5 rounds because I think a few nicely placed leg kicks from Uriah Hall could really hurt Silva. But Anderson Silva on the other hand has been 5 rounds loads of times. 5, 5, 5,
Yeah.
5, 5. Yeah.
He's very much a 5-round fighter, or he was very much a 5-round fighter.
Well, last time he went 5 rounds was 2016, though. Should probably be flagged.
Yeah, that's true.
But he's gone 3 rounds and looked reasonably fresh. Also, his last fight was 1.5 years ago. It's a long time out.
And at this age, that is enough time for you to decline precipitously.
Yeah. And Uriah Hall's was just over a year ago.
Yeah.
So they've both been out for a reasonable amount of time. But yeah, I mean, all factors considered, I'm leaning more towards Uriah Hall in this.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, I'm going to put Uriah Hall in the safe come.
Okay, I'll decide that soon.
Okay. I want Anderson Silva to win via front kick to the face.
Yeah, I hope he comes in juice to the gills and USADA doesn't get anything.
I hope so, yeah. I mean, if you're 45 years old, you should be allowed to...
You may as well.
Yeah, you should be allowed to be on everything, right?
Exactly. Just fucking do everything, go in there, front kick the guy in the face, become the GOAT, and just leave. Just retire.
100%, yeah.
No. Actually, we do not condone steroid use. Very much like our countryman Michael Bisping, we're against steroid use of any kind in the UFC and in other MMA organizations.
Oh, did we decide this?
I think that's what we're meant to say. I suspect that's what we're meant to say. It's the official line of Grapplefuck.
Yeah. But what the official line of Grapplefuck, yeah. But in secret, we'll just do something else entirely. Yes.
Yeah, in secret, we're probably going to do steroids like in a month or so.
Yeah, and DPO. Yeah, 100%. Trenbolone, the whole shit.
Whatever comes our way. Yeah, fuck it.
After this year,
anything that comes my way.
Yeah. Just fucking take it. Yeah.
Yeah. Forget licking the toad. I'll probably just swallow a toad. I have no idea at the moment. But yeah, there you go. I've got. All right. Sorry, guys. We've kind of diverged off topic, but thank you everyone for watching. This isn't the end of it. I'm just thanking you. Thank you everyone for watching. Please like and subscribe. Leave some comments, and then also get on to Anderson Silva's Instagram and tell him to retire after this because he's fucking ancient.
I want to see him fight more people.
You just want to see him die in the octagon.
No,
mate.
I don't.
That's what you want.
What I want to do is see him destroy some unranked fighters.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Why don't they do that? We were talking about this. Like Robbie Lawler, they're giving him like killers.
Well, they don't get paid for those fights.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm assuming they've got a few million by now. Just turn around to Dana White and say, just give me a tomato can, rank 35. Let me destroy him and get the fans gassed. Yeah,
that's what Krokop did. And he had like he had like 15 victories into his 40s, just killing these kind of tomato cans.
What, the left high kick?
Yeah, basically, just crushed these guys. Looked amazing. He was like 44 or something.
Great stuff. That's what we want to see. But yeah, all jokes aside, official predictions. I've got Uriah Hall via I think stoppage in the third round.
Yeah, I think that's sensible. Although Uriah Anderson Silva doesn't really get stopped that much, unless it's a broken leg.
Yeah, which this is what I think it'll be.
It could be. There's definitely something wrong with that right knee. Yeah, I'm going to say stoppage round 3. Yeah, I think that's. I think we're on the same page there.
Yeah, and then that's it. Stay tuned for more fight picks, everyone. We're doing which one are we doing next? We're doing the Hillbilly, our favorite Hillbilly, our second favorite Hillbilly.
Who's?
Actually.
But Bryce Mitchell.
Bryce Mitchell. He's our second favorite Hillbilly for all of our American viewers.
Who's our favorite Hillbilly?
Nate Landwehr, right?
Yes, I love that guy.
Yeah, Nate Landwehr's our favorite Hillbilly, and
He is.
Yeah, Bryce is our second favorite.
Yeah,
we do love Bryce though. We'll be covering Bryce Mitchell very soon. And again, please like and subscribe. Leave any comments. If you want to leave a comment about my sexy robe, feel free to do so. Or I don't know. Yeah, I don't know anymore.
I don't think
Andrew,
you'll get too many comments.
Say to the fans? Sorry?
I don't think you'll get too many comments on your sexy robe. It is a lovely robe.
Is it? Can you see the color? It's kind of like maroonish.
Like a wine color, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, where'd you get it?
I don't know. My ex-girlfriend gave it to me just before she dumped me, the bitch. I'm joking. No,
awkward.
That was a joke.
Awkward.
No, I've had this for ages. I don't know where I got it, but I'll buy a new one soon. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll catch you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.